Yo, what's going on, everyone? Miles Midoriya here with a review of All American Season 6, Episode 10. I thought this was a solid episode. There were many different things going on, like one of them being Spencer trying to get a hold on the questions he was being asked during some of the interviews. And a moment that stood out to me was when Asher was talking to Coach Montez on the phone, but we'll talk about that later. First up, we're going to be talking about Spencer in this episode. He had to go to the combine. In the beginning, we see him talking to Coach Brian, who is the uncle to the manager Spencer is going to sign to. Brian mentioned him growing up with a single mom couldn't have been easy, and he responded to that question easily, but that was just the beginning. Things changed a little once he got to the combine. Even Eric, his soon-to-be manager, let him know that he's going to face uncomfortable questions while he's at the combine. When Spencer was talking to Grace, he did say something that makes sense. The teams are putting millions on the line for each draft pick, and it's not just the player on the field that they're betting on, it's the whole package. He didn't like it though. He wondered, what does that have to do with football? I'm not saying I agree with how they were going in with the questions in the episode, but early on when he said that, you have to think about it from a business standpoint. Either they're going to be investing money into someone who causes trouble on and off the football field, or someone who's going to show up, do their job, and not cause any trouble on or off the football field. Basically, someone who's responsible. It's nothing wrong with him having fun playing football, but he has to think about the business part as well. When Spencer got to the combine, he saw Wade and Darnell. It's nice to see Darnell return. Now, it's the next day. Spencer's up early. He's meeting with the different coaches. It was cool at first, but then they brought up some questions and said some stuff he didn't like. Like they said his life off the field has been a little messy. They've seen messier, so he's good. Then the other coaches talked about how he quit on his team. By the way it seems, he doesn't want him to be a person that quits when things get difficult. I think he should have told them why he did. If they didn't understand, then that's on them. Even though he could have said more after those questions, you could just see by the way he was acting, he was getting irritated. So he did the right thing by leaving the interview. Olivia did help him out later on in the episode, but they did have a talk beforehand and he sounded defeated to her, and who else would know about the combine than Laura? She said when Billy went through it, it was tough for him, and then they were asking all type of personal questions. She told Olivia to trust her instincts, she knows Spencer, and to be there for him the way she knows how. Before that happens, Darnell's having a talk with Spencer, and he's trying to tell him to loosen up. He was around Wade, and he was telling all of them about Spencer's 21st birthday. We all know he was going in that day. Either way, Spencer didn't seem like he wanted to talk to the other players. Darnell let him know that they are living a dream at the NFL Combine. It's a big deal, and not to let that go over his head. I think what Darnell is saying is true. He should loosen up a little. He doesn't have to go partying or anything like that, but talk to the other players. They're going through the exact same thing he's going through. It's a once in a lifetime moment. He should be enjoying it while being around other people just like him, so he isn't as stressed while he's there. That day wasn't all that bad. At night, Spencer got a visit, and you already know who it was. It was Olivia. They had a talk, and she told him to take Darnell's advice and to connect with the other players. He let her know he's not like Darnell or Wade when it comes to the interviews. It gets to him. He can't just play it off. And she told him being genuine is his superpower. It's what he does best. I think she's right. He should be genuine in his interviews. The same way he answered Brian early on in the episode is the same way he should respond to those questions, which he did during his second round of interviews, and he did a good job with his responses, so that talk he had with Olivia worked out. Later on, Spencer was around the other players, including Darnell and Wade, and Spencer was giving one of his well-known speeches. He was basically saying when they are in better positions as players that they should make things better for the next generation so they don't have to go through what they went through. Also, him saying next generation, I wonder if that's a hint towards season 7. But either way, I'm glad Spencer was able to get a handle on things and did better during his interviews. And then also going to go talk to the other players as well. Towards the end of the episode, he had a talk with Olivia, and everything seems like it went well with the interviews, which means he might be in the top picks for the NFL draft. Olivia in this episode, one of the things that she was doing was watching AJ, and she was trying to have him get along with her because he seemed like he didn't like being around her at first. Even in the beginning when she volunteered to watch him, this dude Spencer started coughing. I was like, if y'all don't catch the hint from that, and Jordan just outright said how AJ acts around her. I was like, man, y'all don't even believe in her. Let's just say the first time around, things didn't go too well. Also, in this episode, she mentioned that she had split from her publisher, but we'll talk about that in a minute. The second time she watched AJ was a success. She was trying to feed him some food. She was pretending like she didn't know how to eat, and she was able to feed him. So she got a win. Now, back to the book situation. Her spending time with AJ got her thinking about her dad and how he always found a way to teach that made you feel like you knew exactly what to do all along. So Olivia decided to make Billy's book a children's book. It's her way of sharing him with the next generation. There goes that phrase again. I think that's cool. He could be like a positive figure for the next generation, and he'll always be remembered from each generation that pops up. Moving along to Jordan and Layla. Layla's hosting a brunch at the lounge, and Jordan wanted her to take a break and focus on herself while he takes over for the brunch. Plus, Layla had homework from her therapist, so it's a perfect opportunity. She wanted to stay, but he let her know that she's already done enough work for it, so she decided to take the day to herself. They did have some hiccups. The bartender quit, Jordan had to make the drinks, and he was spilling some stuff here and there because only one of his arms is good. But Jamie jumped in and helped out, and of course, Layla did get a little worried when she called to check in. When she got there, she saw everything was alright and being taken care of, and how Jamie was doing a good job. She did such a good job that she offered her the manager position. In a way, you could say Jordan helped with that decision when him and Layla had a talk. She didn't think she was a part of the brunch being a success because she wasn't there to do anything, but Jordan let her know that she did everything else. That she worked on that brunch for weeks and how most of his victories came from being a part of a team. And she doesn't have to do it all alone, which is another reason why I think Jamie is being offered the job. Also, she saw how much Jamie enjoyed the work, and she noticed how much she didn't really enjoy the work like how Jamie did. Jamie did reject the job at first, but Asher wasn't letting that go. He told her that he can't let her give up her dreams so that he could chase his dreams. So she decided that she would take the job, and she went to go talk to Layla, but she had one condition, and I couldn't help but laugh. When they showed the next scene, I think she basically wanted Jordan fired. That was nice of Layla to offer her the job and for Jamie to take it. She's finally working at a job that she likes, she gets paid more, and it's better hours. And plus, she should get to work somewhere she likes to be at, just like Asher does. Back to Layla, she's talking to Jordan, and she told him that she's starting to produce music again. When she was thinking about her mom and her mom with music, and she said it wasn't the music, but it was what it represented. That her mom couldn't face what she viewed as a failure, and she was doing the same thing with the label because of what happened with Patience. Good for her for not holding herself back. She couldn't have predicted that Patience situation. She just needs to keep focusing on herself and take it one step at a time, getting back to what she enjoys, which she is starting to do. When it comes to Asher in this episode, it was revealed that Coach Montez will be a coach in the NFL. And Asher was avoiding his phone calls. In a way, the situation kind of reminds you of when Spencer didn't pick up when Billy was calling him. He had a talk with Olivia. He told her he's not mad about him leaving, but after Billy, he doesn't know how to say goodbye. Olivia told him they don't all get the chance, but he does, so he decided to go to the party that they were throwing for Coach Montez. It's understandable about what happened with Billy. He does have a chance now to say what he has to say to his mentor, someone who helped him out and that gave him a chance. When Asher got to the college, the party was over, and he ran into Mrs. Montez. She let him know he hasn't taken this move lightly. He was worried about the staff he's leaving behind, but he doesn't worry about Asher. Which is why he got him that necklace, because he believes he's going to get a lot of championship rings in the future. Just then, Coach Montez was calling Asher and Mrs. Montez left. I thought the acting of him talking on the phone was a good emotional moment because we know the actor Kamar has sadly passed away, and you can just feel the emotion when he was talking on the phone. Some of it I think was him playing Asher, but maybe the other half is himself, Cody. Overall, I thought that scene was well put together and really made people feel some type of emotion when watching it. This episode, like I said before, was a solid and interesting one. We got to see how Spencer handled the combine when something popped up, him talking to the other players, Asher talking to Coach Montez on the phone, Layla doing what she has to do to better herself, and Olivia figuring out what she wanted to do with her book. But I am interested to hear what y'all had to say about this episode. Comment below. What did you think about the episode?